Africa, more particularly Nigeria, is believed to be the home to the fastest growing telecommunications industry in the world. An industry that has helped spark what many would regard as a revolution whose time has come indeed. According to a McKinsey report, it is expected that by 2025, Africa's internet GDP could account for as much as 10% or $300 billion of total GDP, while producing a leap forward in economic and social development. This is indeed a great opportunity awaiting the African continent, but she needs to start putting things in place. We will be looking at the role of technology in Africa's economic development. And with me to discuss this is Uyi Stewart, an IBM Distinguished Engineer and the Chief Scientist, IBM Research Africa, with over 20 years experience in software and services research. Welcome to Tech Trends.
Thanks, Jukes. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Does technology have any role to play in Africa's economic development?
Without question. I believe that technology is actually central to the transformation of the African continent. Let me just quickly describe what technology is, right? Is the ability to use digital content, either in terms of storage, in terms of gathering, in terms of processing, and transmission, also known as information technology. Now, if you look at everything that is going on in Africa, whether it's banking, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in healthcare, what is central are these attributes that I just talked about. So, technology is central and will be a catalyst to the transformation of the African continent.
Okay, but let's look at some critical areas that is in dire need of these technology solutions. What are they and what do you think we should be doing?
That's a great question, Chooks. I believe that it cuts across the very fiber of who we are as a people, right? Look, let's take everyday life. You wake up in the morning, right? And what do you need to think about? Wellness. Am I well today? That's healthcare. Right? Can I look at my vital organs and my vital systems to know, am I really in a good shape today, either to go to work or to go running? That's a decision we need to make. That's just to get started. Now you say, okay, I feel I'm well, therefore I need to eat. That's about food and agriculture. All right, I have eaten, I need to get to work. That is about mobility, right? So you get what I'm saying. When I get to work, I need to access the internet, the World Wide Web. And then you need to use technology to work. So look at this. I have just looked at a day in the life of Uyi or a day in the life of Peter. And what do you see? At the very fiber and center of my very existence and your existence is technology.
Wow, interesting. Now, but do you think African countries are actually taking advantage of these new technologies?
That's where I begin to scratch my head. And you know what? It's a journey we are on. I believe that Africa has not really had a moment to get a rest. In my point of view, this is Africa's moment to take a step back and go on this journey that you talked about. Now, the way I look at it is that different countries are on different pedestal based on their appreciation of what I just described. But make no mistake about it, we are all on a journey, and we've all recognized that we need technology to take us there.
There's this saying that data is the new oil, some call it new oil, some call it Africa's new resources. What's your take on that?
Do you know that there are more mobile phones than we have adults in Africa? What does that mean? It means that each of us carry a veritable source of data. So Ginny looks at this ubiquitous device that we all have and its proliferation across the African continent and say, this is going to be the new untapped natural resource in Africa. Notice, untapped, but it's a natural resource because we all have it.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3 steps. What should we do to maximize that data that we have?
Very easy. One, we need to be smart about collection, which is what we call instrumentation. Number two, we need to be smart about how we generate insights out of the data in a very timely way. And number three, we need to turn it back into the citizens in the value add that makes sense to them.
Can I still call you a techie?
I am a techie to the core.
Or you're not a researcher.
Look, It's a combination of the two. I'm a researcher, I am a techie. That's the life I live. You can't separate one from the other.
Okay, so are you okay with the level of innovation around the African tech space?
No, I'm dissatisfied. I believe that we can do more. I believe that we can organize. A few questions are important. Why are you innovating? Are you innovating for innovation's sake? Or are you innovating to solve a problem? Are you big enough? Are you dreaming big enough in terms of the problem you want to solve? Look, anybody can build an app, but not everybody can build an app that can become the next Facebook. My dream, my aspiration for this continent is that each of us will dream big enough and begin to innovate to solve big challenges and big problems.
Let's talk money.
Yes.
If we get this right, what does it mean in terms of monetary value to Africa?
Unbelievable exponential growth, right? The numbers are conservative, right? If you look at just the estimate that by 2017, it is estimated that the social media market from a technology standpoint is anywhere between 20 billion and 50 billion. That's with a B, right? And right now, we are not tapping it. So, and that's a conservative estimate. In fact,